Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to see so many familiar faces. I am super excited to bring you this look. If you know me, or maybe you don't, I am Ophell Ramirez. I am a Central Florida-based hairstylist and makeup artist. I've been doing hair and makeup for over 8 years now, and I love makeup. I'm a beauty enthusiast first. One of my favorite looks to do, especially when I go out, is a glittery eye look. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today with you guys. Feel free to drop comments below in the chat. If you're going to be following along with me, let me know. I'm going to do a Q&A after. I'm really just going to be chatting and going through the full tutorial with you. So if you have any questions or anything or about products, just let me know because I really want to answer that for you. So I did start out, we're going to start with eyes first. I do want to go over, I did a little bit of skin prep off camera. Nothing crazy. I just use my Release cream, and this is actually what I use on all my clients lately. It is really nice and moisturizing. It is one of the best moisturizers that I've used, especially because I do use it on all my clients as of lately. If you're sensitive, if you're dry, normal, it's good for everybody. So I skin prepped with that, did a little eye cream. Always do eye cream. Trust me, it makes your eyes turn out so much better. So we are starting with eyes first because we're doing a glittery eye look. And sometimes with glitter, even though with this glitter, you don't get a lot of fallout, sometimes you do. So we really want to keep that under eye really clean and pretty. So I'm doing eyes first, and I just did a little bit of skin prep. So I'm going to start out with, I would consider this skin prep too, but maybe not. So I'm doing my CC Correct Dull Correct CC cream. This is a correcting cream. You can use it as a primer or just by itself. I'm kind of just dabbing. I had a little lighting issue, so if you feel like it's weird, just let me know. So I'm kind of just dabbing it on the 4 little quadrants of my face and spreading it out. This is to kind of take out any dullness that I have and brighten up my skin tone. This is really good for anybody who just feels like they want a little bit more radiance in their makeup look. And so this is what I do. I really do it on the outside of my face. I don't drag it into my eyes because I already primed that. Like I said, you can use this by itself or as a primer. And we're going to use it as a primer today. I'm so happy to see so many of my familiar faces on here. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. It means the world. You know, I'm just the girl who likes to do makeup. Okay, so I'm using a flat brush. I'm actually using my Beverly makeup brush set that I got from my Blushington Academy set. It is a really good set if you're a beginner or if you're an advanced person like me. I like a lot of brushes. I'm a brush hoarder, and their brushes, this brush set is the best. It has the perfect amount for any makeup look, and that's pretty much what I'm using this whole time. I don't even think I use another brush from something else. So, oh yeah, for my lips, I did use the Jouer lip gloss. This is what I use to keep them nice and moisturized. All right, so for the concealer, I don't use my fingers for that. Oh yeah, that's true. These brushes are really good. I use these in my makeup kit, but I think I'm gonna purchase them for myself. This is like my bride set of makeup brushes. This is the bride. This is what I use on her whenever I need to know like what brushes exactly I'm using. I separate that set and I leave that for her. So this is the exact brushes that I use. I'm using the flat synthetic brush. It's the 948. That's what I use to apply my moisturizer and my primer. I like to use a brush to apply both of those items. I just feel like it's a better result. To me, it's more cleaner than using your fingers. It's less mess. That's kind of just my go-to. I'm also going to use this to apply foundation, so we'll keep that for later. All right, so now we prime the face. We're going to go into priming the eyes. So I'm using, this is also another makeup kit favorite that I've been using on literally all my clients. You guys will be surprised. All these products is something that I really do use on my clients. But this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. I really like this primer because if you're the type of person that gets discoloration on the lids, you need something that's going to neutralize that but still keep your eyeshadow in place. So that's the one that I'm using. And I'm going to switch from the big flat, I think it's like a shader brush, to the small flat 936. And I really like this primer. It kind of comes out a little bit white toned. So what I actually do for my medium brown skin girls, this is a good one for you. If you're a little paler, it might not bother you that it's a little bit white toned. It's good because you want to neutralize any veins or anything. But if you're a little bit more my skin tone, it can be too white. So what I do is mix it in with a little bit of concealer. And so what that'll do is make it a little bit more flesh tone, so it's not as dramatic. All right, I'm just trying to adjust my mirror, so sorry guys. All right, so we're gonna go in with eye primer. Like I said, we're starting with eyes first because this is a glitter eye look. I like to dab it on both eyes first. This stuff is really creamy. It doesn't set too fast, so you kind of have time to play with it. If you see on my face, you can see that I do have a little darkness on my lid, so we're gonna neutralize that, and you'll be surprised at how bright this pops. Not only does this neutralize any discoloration, but it also makes a really good base for your shadows. You kind of want a neutral base for your shadows, regardless of if you're doing a glittery look or just a basic, simple eye, like matte eye look. You kind of want a neutral canvas to start with. And you can see how much that brightened up, like so much. So like I said, I'm using the, I forgot the number already, the 936 flat shader brush. And I'm just like packing and patting it, but I'm still kind of moving it around, and I'm dragging it up from my lid where I placed it up into my brow bone or my brow line. I don't know what you want to call that. Always make sure though you're blending out. And I like to say it's more of like a patting motion. Okay. So yeah, this is like one of my go-to eye looks. I don't think people realize that eyeshadow looks are literally the same. You just switch up the shade. So this is going to be a simple 3-step shade, and then we're going to pop glitter on it, and you will be blown away that it's so easy. And I literally do the same technique, and I just change up the shade. It's kind of funny. People think makeup is this very, it is detailed, but it's not as detailed as people make it seem. That's why I like doing these makeup lessons, because you kind of get surprised. All right, so I'm finished with that. That's just the eye primer. Now we're gonna set it. I like to use a fluffy brush to set my eye primer. Sometimes I even go in with a flat kind of fluffy brush, but so it just is preference. All these brushes are preference, but this is just what I like to use. I know that people use different brushes for different things. So I like the fluffy eye brush just like this. And you know, these brushes are so cute. They're pink. They're my fave. They're 785. So that's the fluffy brush that I'm going to use. But sometimes I do go in with the 77, which is kind of like a skinnier, flat, fluffy brush. And you can use that to set. So the eye palette that I'm going to be using today is kind of well known. If you already follow me on Instagram, this is a palette that I use on literally everybody. It's the Soft Glam Anastasia Beverly Hills eye palette. She is used and abused because she has been my favorite forever. I have been using her ever since I did the Blushington Artist Advancement course. I've literally used that palette on everyone. Don't tell my clients. They're going to think that I'm just like not coming out with new techniques for them, but it's just a really good universal palette. It's for everybody. So I'm going to start out with the shade Orange Soda. Also, this is a really good palette for all skin tones. A lot of people think that, you know, you can only use certain shades, but this one is really universal. Oh wait, I lied. I forgot that I'm setting this. So what I'm actually going to use is the lightest shade to set our base, which is Tempera. So we're going to do transition after this. I just got carried away by talking about the eyeshadow palette that I love. So I'm using Tempera to set it, this eye primer. And what I'm doing is I started in the middle and I'm just packing it on and then kind of slowly blending it up and out and just covering my whole lid to set it. Like, look how much that brightened up my eye, you guys. I really do have darkness. People think that I don't, but it's only because I do my makeup. So just fluff it all over. This is not where you need to be technical right now. We will get into the technical part of it, but right now we're just setting the lid. And what this is doing is this is prepping the eye and prepping that primer for us to put all these other shades on top of it. So pack it on, kind of like a patting motion, and then slow windshield wiper motions up into the brow bone. And definitely ask me any questions. Sometimes I get carried away in what I'm doing because I've done it for so many years now that I forget to explain it. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them so that way I can get them answered. I had a few in my story that people asked me, and I already forgot what they were. So we set the eyeshadow, and like I said, this is to prep our eyelid for the rest of the shades. This is a step that is really important because if you don't prep your eyelid right, you're not gonna be able to blend any shadows on top of that. So now I'm gonna go in with my transition shade, and this is gonna be, oh, I love you guys. You guys are so sweet. I appreciate you watching today. So we're going to go in with our transition shade, which is our first of the 3 shades, and then we're doing glitter after. So the first shade is Orange Soda. This would be like your medium to lightest shade that you're going to be using. You only need 3 shades for this eye look, and you can kind of play with how dramatic you want it to go. We're going to do medium glam. We're doing, you know, a simple girls' night out, couple cocktails, little black dress. We're doing super simple, but I am going to give you the option to amp it up to be a little bit more dramatic if you want to. So we're starting with the medium to lightest shade that we're doing. I'm going to use Orange Soda. Yeah, is that what it's called? I forgot already. And we're going to pop that into our crease. My eyes are big, so I feel like it is really nice to see eyeshadow on my eyes because they're big and you can kind of see. So pop it into your crease, and I just tap it in with this big fluffy brush, and then I blend it out. But I still kind of round it because I like to have a big, round, whitened type of eye, especially for when I'm doing glitter, because glitter is the emphasis of everything. So we're gonna keep short windshield wiper motions and just blend it out, but still keeping within that crease. And you can go up a little into the brow bone if you want, but we will pop another brow bone color on there, which will be one of our lighter shades. So I'm going to go back in there. I like to slowly pat it in my brush into that shade. So that way I can kind of decide how much I want to pick up. And then I'm going to go to the other side. I like to pack it in. And then same thing, short windshield wiper motions. I don't know if you guys can see, but I'm trying to explain it as best as I can. I know my hand is kind of blocking it. I'm left-handed, so it is a little difficult because I know my hand blocks my face. So keep blending that out. And like I said, this is like our medium to light shade. And I use this transition shade on everybody. It kind of looks scary in the pan when you're looking at it, but it really is a pretty color. All right, now that we kind of blended that out, I want to just make sure I have symmetry. That's super important. You want to make sure everything kind of matches up. And with this eye look, because we're doing eyes first, you don't have to worry about being super precise because we can clean up anything that we need to before we put our foundation on, which is the best part about doing eyes first. I know there's people who do eyes eyes last, and I don't know how they like to live in the fast lane, I guess, because that's not the life for me. I don't want to have to clean up underneath there. So now I'm switching to a smaller dome shaped brush, the 780. This is a super small dome shaped brush. Yeah, I know Brit is eyes last. I definitely have my time and place. If I'm doing a natural eye look, then I will do eyes last because I'm not playing with a lot of shades. But typically when I'm playing with glitter, I like to start with my eyes first so I can kind of keep it clean. So now I'm using this smaller dome shaped brush, and this is where we're getting a little bit more technical. So I'm going to use Sienna. You should use your medium to dark shade that you're going to be using. Not the darkest shade, but the closest to what you want it to be. And then I like to go and pat it in, and I like to use a V-shaped motion on the outer corner of my eye. And then I drag it about halfway into my crease. And you don't want to go any further because we're actually going to use our fluffy brush to blend it in a little bit more, but keep it soft. And that's why I like to drop down to a smaller dome-shaped brush for this, because you can kind of take a little bit care about where you're applying the color. So it does look a little dramatic right now, but we're going to go back in and soften it. So pat into the color and then pack it into that outer V shape of your eye. For me, I like to keep my eye a little bit shadowed in more so it doesn't look so big. You know, symmetry is really what we're aiming for. So I drag it in about halfway. Oh, there's two Britneys on here. My other girl, Brittany, I love her. I'm so happy you guys are watching me today. You guys are the best. I appreciate all the support. All right, so we dragged that medium to dark shade in between, and now we're using my special trick. Get your fluffy brush, kind of dust it off on a paper towel, and blend in that medium to dark shade with that transition shade just a little bit. You don't want to blend too much, but I feel like this just helps. When you use this fluffy brush, it helps to blend it out and not feel like you're losing that depth. And this is when you can kind of drag it in a little bit more into your crease. Because you do want the depth, you just don't want it to be not concentrated. We're kind of shaping the eye. So keep that lid a little bit clean because we are going to put tempera back on there, but we're also going to pack the glitter on there. So that's why I'm not going too far into my lid, because we're going to put the glitter on there. And I'm super excited to play with this glitter because there's two different ways you can do it. You can play it up and do a really like nice 3D type of chunky glitter, or you can do a shimmer, which is like for my girls who just want to play it safe. You know, maybe you're not. Maybe it's not a date. Maybe you don't want to pull out all the stops. Maybe you just want to have a little bit of fun. So you want to feel a little shimmery. I hope you guys are all going and doing something fun this season. This is like a really fun holiday look. I know if you're like my friends always want to take pictures and videos and Instagram, and I want to be cute. So yeah, Nicole, you're totally right. Sparkle season is here, babies, and we got to be ready. So that's why I think this is a perfect look. Honestly, though, I do wear glitter like a lot. I don't save it for special occasion. All right, so we just kind of blended out that darkness with that fluffy brush. Now we're going to go in, and this is where you can go optional. You can go a little bit darker and really give it some depth, or you can go a little lighter and you can stick with that same dark shade, or you can go in with like, or that same medium shade and keep that, or you can go in with a black or a brown and smoke it out a little bit more. And I'm not going to show you that today because I want to keep it pretty simple. But what you would do is just go in with that dark brown right where we put in that medium, and you can add a little bit more depth. And that's what really sets you apart from being just like a little soft glam to being a lot more dramatic. But today I'm going to keep it simple, and I'm only going to do 3 shades. And that's why I went with the medium to dark and not the ultra dark. I just blended out a little bit. It's weird because I'm looking at myself on camera, but also trying to blend in here. All right, girls. So now we are going to do our lid shade again. I'm still going to go back in. Actually, no, I'm going to use a different brush. I'm using that flat shader brush that I was saying I kind of like to use for in place of the fluffy brush. This one's just a flat, but still dome-shaped brush. It's the 7-7. And I'm going to use that. And I'm going to go back into the lightest shade that I used, which was Tempura. And I'm going to put that on my lid. And that's just to kind of prep that lid for the glitter. And this one, you're going to be a little bit more gentle. You're not going to drag it over that darker shade because we still want to use that for some dimension. We're just going to pat it to kind of prep. And I like to kind of start from the middle of my eye and then go into that, I don't even know what you would call that, the inner eye. If you like an inner corner highlight too, you can kind of drag this out just a little bit more into that. So you can have an inner corner highlight. Not everybody loves that. I do, but not everybody does. But what that matte shade is doing, and honestly, Tempura is not that matte. It's a little shimmery. But what that shade is doing is just giving a nice base for our glitter, which I'm really excited to play with. And then I'm going to actually go into my brow bone a little bit and just kind of still blend out that orange soda just a little higher. I will add a little more neutral tone shade up there. If you do like a brow bone highlight too, you can pop a little glitter on there too. I know that some people like that. Or if you're too scared to play with glitter on your eye, you can put it on your brow bone. That's the fun part about makeup, is you can always play with it however you want. All right, so this glitter is really, I'm so excited. It's the Bodyography glitter. It's in the shade Off the Hook. This shade that I'm using, it's kind of like a I don't want to say a copper, but it's like a copper gold. And these packages are interesting. When you get this, it's going to have like a little plastic topper on it, which you're seeing me struggle with because I have really long nails. If you know me, you know I'm not cutting my nails for anybody. So, all right, so I'm taking that off, and it is like a copper shade. It's called Off the Hook. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's so pretty. And it comes in pack like that. And the reason why you need this plastic thing on top is because it keeps it pressed and keeps it fresh. So don't throw that away when you get that. Now, because I have long nails, I'm going to show you 2 ways to, I know, I love this shade. It's just so pretty. This is a really good shade. They also have a pink champagne that I feel like would be pretty on all skin tones. So because I have long nails, I don't typically use my fingers to apply makeup, but I am going to show you 2 different ways to apply this glitter. You can use this synthetic brush. I know this does remind me of the Hourglass pressed pigments. And these are actually gluten-free and they're cruelty-free. And I really like that. I'm kind of trying to make the move to making my makeup kit more eco-friendly and just clean overall this year or this upcoming year. So this product is really good for me to add in. So I like to go in with this flat synthetic brush. Again, I love this brush. It's a 936. And you can just pat it over where we put that lighter shadow base on for eyeshadow. And you can just pat on there and it's so pretty. So this is the softer way of doing it. And then if you really want to amp it up, which is what we want to do, because if we're going to parties, we're being invited, we're going out with our girls, we want to really pump it up, you can use your fingers. I'm not going to make you watch me struggle with this. I'm just going to get it out on my palette because my nails are long and they won't let me. So I like to use kind of like my index finger and go into the glitter. And this stuff is so soft and baked and pretty. And then you just kind of like pat it on your eye. And this intensifies it so much more. And I love that. And then I kind of put that on that lid where that brighter eyelid was, and then drag it into that darker shade just a little bit to blend it out. And I'm gonna take pictures of this look so you guys can see. I know it's a little hard on here, especially when I was having lighting issues earlier, but now we're gonna go do the other eye. We're gonna pack it where we kind of kept that light brightness at, and we're gonna pack it in. And if you don't have fallout when you use glitter, I'm super jealous of you because I always do. But yeah, this gives it like a foiled effect when you use your finger. So I kind of prefer it that way because I like to really be dramatic. And I just feel like when I go out, I want to be shiny and glittery and the star of the show. All right, so I just kind of packed in there and I dragged it not up above my crease because you really don't want to go too dramatic in your crease, but I know Britt's making fun of me because she doesn't have fallout. All right, so I drag it not all the way up into my crease, but right below it. You don't want to put a lot of shimmer in the crease. You kind of want to keep that depth in there. So now if you want to darken it, you can use, or not darken it, if you want to add a little bit more dimension, when you use like that darker shade, I like to go back in and add a little bit more depth. Oh, hi, Steph. Is your baby watching too? So cute. One of my colleagues from the Blushington Academy is watching. Actually, I think I have a few on here that are watching me. Some of them were in my class, some of them weren't, but they're watching today, which makes me feel so honored because I learned a lot of these tips and stuff from them. So sometimes I like to add a little bit more darkness into my eye look. So I'll take that dome-shaped brush again, the one that I just used, and add a little bit more depth into my crease. When I was saying you don't want to drag it all the way up into your crease line, you kind of want that dimension with the darkness of with the darker shadow. So sometimes I'll go in and just kind of touch it up a little bit, not a lot, but it makes a huge difference. You know, this is definitely a going out look. I'm probably going to do this. I have one of my friends invited me to her bachelorette party, and this is probably what I'll wear on Saturday. and I'll probably do it after work. I think I have a wedding this weekend, so I gotta amp it up because I'm not gonna wear this to my wedding. Although my client probably would love it. She'd be like, "Oh, bro, you're wearing glitter for me." She would probably love it. All right, so we are going to finish up the eyes a little bit. I'm gonna kind of just clean underneath. I have a little fallout, nothing crazy. That's why I like doing my skin prep first, so I can kind of let everything sit and settle. I'm gonna go back in with the fluffy brush, and I want to go in with a little a little flesh toned on my brow bone. So I'm gonna pick up the Modern Renaissance palette just for a couple of shades, or one shade, and I'm gonna use Warm Taupe and kind of create a little bit of a brow bone highlight, but not too dark. I like to do my brows last. Is that another thing that people like to do first? I think it is. I don't know why. For some reason, I just cannot keep my brows clean if I do them first. I used to be able to do that. All right, so I went back in with tempera right on my brow bone and went underneath where my arches and just popped a little bit of that lighter shade because I do like extra brow bone highlight. I think that's really pretty. So now we're gonna go in with eyeliner, which can be your enemy or your best friend. It really just depends on the mood. But I'm using, this is another OG from my makeup kit that I'm using on my clients all the time. This is the Stila Smudge Pot. It is the blackest gel liner you'll ever meet in your life, and it's the best. I use this on all my clients too. And the nice thing about a gel liner is that it's so matte and black that you really, I don't know, I just think it gives you a better look overall, especially in photos, because you kind of need that depth. So I'm not doing a crazy liner because I am doing lashes. Because when you go out, I don't know about you, but you need lashes. Let me know in the comments below if you wear lashes or if you don't when you go out. And if you don't, then you need to start. I'm just kidding. But no, really. The only thing that I hate about not wearing lashes is I have none. So if you have pretty lashes and you don't need fake lashes, good for you. I'm so happy. But unfortunately, I wasn't blessed. So I'm using the gel liner. You can go straight from the pot with this. I'm using, yeah, Britt says she does lash extensions. She's never going to give them up, which I understand. I just have no lashes. So, all right. So I'm using the 710, which is a super skinny eyeliner brush. And if you're used to like a felt tip pen, you can switch to gel liner easily. And trust me, it's so much better. It doesn't crack like liquid liners do. So this is a Stila Smudge Pot. I do have, I'm not gonna lie though, I do have their felt tip liner and that doesn't crack, but I just like a gel for when I go out because, you know, you might get rowdy. You might fall asleep in your makeup. So you kind of want to make sure it lasts all night. I'm just kidding. I probably shouldn't say that. Always take your makeup off at night. So, so for the gel line, for this liner look, I'm doing a super simple liner. We're just going to follow right along our lash line. We're going to keep it very thin and clean because we want to really make the emphasis the glitter and the lashes. So what I like to do is kind of, especially when I do this on clients, what I have them do is look down almost like they're looking down at the floor. And then that kind of stretches their lid out perfectly. And then I'll go and line it. And sometimes you might need to like hold your skin a little. Especially like me, you kind of getting a little sag in there, girl. And so you like to hold your skin tighter a little to kind of create that line. It's hard for me to do this when I'm staring in the mirror and at you guys. But I like to just follow and do short strokes. I think what happens, what people do is when you just drag the whole liner out, that's when you get mess ups. You need to be slow and deliberate with these strokes. And I even like to go back in and kind of smush it so it's like flat, and then I'll go and then I'll lower my eye so that way it's completely stretched out. And then I use like short little strokes to line my lower lash line. And just keep it really thin and close to that lash line. You don't want to go too thick because we're about to put lashes on it. And I'm not dragging it out further than my eye shape, my eye. I don't know what you would call that portion of your eye right here. But we're not dragging it out. We're not doing a wing liner. That's a different tutorial for another day. I'm kind of glad that wing liner is dying out. Even though I've like been wearing wing liner since before it was cool. Let me know if you liked wing liner or not. But I'm kind of glad that that's dying out. I was getting sick of doing it on everybody. All right, so lashes. This is so fun, but I just want to say if you're doing this look and you're about to go out, do not do these on the day of that you're going to go out. You need to save this for when you practice. I know, wing liner is a classic. I'm not saying we shouldn't learn it. I'm just saying that not everybody needs to have a wing liner. Sometimes I feel like it takes away from the look, from the eye look. So for lashes, don't practice these the day of when you're going to go out, please. I always tell my clients, especially my bridal clients who are like, for my engagement photos, I tried to do this and then I messed up and I just was frustrated. Like, this is not the time. You have to give these the attention they deserve. But lashes can be really easy if you follow these little tricks. And I do my lashes a little different than other people do. Or at least I think I do. I don't know. Maybe I'm not special. But these are the Faux Mink Ardell Wispies. I probably should have showed you them. But these are my favorite eyelash. These are the Wispies. I use these on literally everybody. It's the perfect lash for going out, but it also is natural enough that you don't feel like you're wearing a huge eyelash. I know that some people, they don't like dramatic lashes. I don't know those people, but some people don't like a dramatic lash. So this is like my baby lash. This is my beginner lash that I like to put on everyone. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a mirror and we're going to look down like we're looking down the floor. There's a lot of looking down in these techniques that I'm showing you. And what I'm doing is basically measuring it against my eye. And you can use a tweezer for this. Yeah, these lashes are literally perfect for everybody. If someone wants a lash that, see how much that makes my eye like pop and open up? I mean, you just need these, especially when you're going out. These are fun. So honestly, I would say have you and your girlfriends practice lashes and put them on each other because that's kind of easier. So we're measuring them right now. We're making sure they fit and that no edge of the liner of the lash is hanging. I have huge eyes, so I never usually have to cut lashes, but I still do. And always cut on, oh, thank you. Always cut on the outside of the lash. Do not cut on the inner corner. These are shaped so that way they flare out for a reason. Okay, so I'm going to do that really quick. And like I said, I don't really need to trim them, but I do anyway, because you just want to make sure that they're going to fit your eye perfectly. Oh, I saw the chat, but I don't know where it is. Oh, okay. So the lash glue that I like to use, you know, it's funny. I do like having big eyes, but also at the same time, I wish I had, you know, a different eye shape. And they always say, you want what you don't have. Like I'll do makeup on clients. I'm like, oh, I wish I looked like her, or I wish I had that. So I'm learning to appreciate my features for what they are. But, you know, a little lash eye opener does never hurt nobody, especially for a party, because you want to look right. You know, maybe you got a date, maybe your coworker's cute and you want to see him, you want him to see you looking hot. All right, so I'm gonna use the lash glue and I usually apply like a super thin line. A lot of people put too much glue. You literally need the tiniest amount of glue. Now, something that I do that's a little different is I let the glue I let it stay a little tacky. So most people will say 15 to 30 seconds. I never wait that long. I do it pretty quick. And my reasoning is because if it's still a little tacky, you can kind of adjust it where you need it to go. And so I really like that technique more than, you know, waiting too long. So I don't blow on my lashes out of habit because I do work with a lot of clients. And if your makeup artist blows on your lashes, that's really gross. Don't let her do that. I use a fan. So I'm bougie and use a fan. Don't blow on them. Okay. Yes, I always use a fan. I don't blow on my clients' lashes. So now it's out of habit. I just can't do it, even if I'm putting them on my face. So let that glue set just a couple of seconds. And I like to lower and look down like I'm looking into the mirror. And same thing with my clients. I have them lower and look down like they're looking at the floor. And then I just kind of pop it into that middle and then make sure it's tacky enough and then kind of adjust it where I need it. And don't be worried that you see that white. That white will dry to clear. I typically use a black liner or a black but I didn't want to do that on camera and embarrass myself. Like, what if I messed up? And I was like, I can use black lash glue. That would not look professional. So now I use a fan and I just kind of dry it just a tad. And then we're going to go to the other eye. Same thing. We're going to pop it right into that center. Make sure it's centered. And then I like to do the outside in. So I just make sure the inside the outside is attached. And you're literally dragging it right up to your lash line. Right next to those lashes. And I like to kind of pinch them a little close together. So I use the back of my tweezer. I have long nails. Most people can probably just go in. I have trouble getting the glue on the, okay. So wait for them to dry a little bit more. So just fan for a couple more seconds. That 15 to 30 second mark is pretty much when they're locked and loaded. Like, they're good after that point. They really shouldn't budge at all. And I use the back of my tweezer, and I'm going to do this in the mirror, but maybe you can kind of see it. And I like press them together. And there should be like no stickiness. And that should be the closest you can get to your lash line, folks. And like I said, this takes a little practice. Do not practice this on the day of your Christmas Eve party, your New Year's Eve party, your work party. Don't practice this on that day. This needs to be done, a little bit prior. So then I do like to go back in and kind of touch up that liner just to kind of blend that together just a little bit more and darken that and blend it in. Blend that fake lash line and your actual lashes together. These little steps are super important because that's what helps create the continuity of a look. Okay, so let's move on to face. We pretty much finished our eyes. I don't do a lot with the lower lash line, but I am going to do a little bit today because I kind of want to make it a little smoky, but I am going to wait till the end because that is what I like to do. Same thing. Fallout is not my friend, and so I like to kind of do it after I've cleaned up and kept it clean of any residue. So the foundation I'm using today is the Becca foundation, and I really love this foundation. I like to use a full coverage foundation for when I go out. I know some people like to keep it light, but when you're going out, you're going to be taking pictures. Your girls are going to want to make Snapchats and TikToks and whatever else people like to post their photos on. Like I said, my friends are social media girls, so they like to take selfies. So we're always taking selfies. So this foundation is full coverage. And I like that because then you don't have to worry about any flaws. I'm using that flat synthetic, I don't even know what you call these again, foundation brush maybe? It's the 948, and I'm going to use that to apply. And I just use my fingers out of habit because I am a makeup artist and I do have long nails. But if you use your fingers, you go right on, girl. Whatever works for you, whatever floats your boat. Let me know what everyone uses. Are we a beauty blender team? Are we a brush team? Fingers? What do we like to use to put our makeup on? So I just like to go in the, 4 quadrants of my face and drag down to my neck. And then I use everybody likes beauty blenders. Okay. Well, I like a brush because it gives the most coverage. So this is a 959. This gives the most coverage. Everybody likes a beauty blender. That's so funny. I do go in with the beauty blender after this, but I do like to mostly apply with, and this is actually a little bit of my summer shade, but I don't care because I want to be a little darker. We've been having like 2 seconds of cold weather and I don't like it. Let me know if you're in Florida and you've had the cold weather. Someone said, they like to use their fingers. I just can't use my fingers. I think it's because I've always had long nails. So I do use a little mix of that flat brush and then I go back in with and I do use the beauty blender, which I'm going to use a little bit after this. I like to use the beauty blender to kind of drag down into my neck just a little. Brush and Beauty Blender. I think the brush and the Beauty Blender is like the supreme combo because you're getting the full coverage with your brush, but then you can also, like for me, I'm like dry on the cheeks. So you can also kind of blend out and create a little bit of sheerness of texture with your Beauty Blender, especially down here. I know. And I feel like with COVID, as a makeup artist, though, I did give up beauty blenders because of COVID. And it gets really expensive buying a new beauty blender for everybody and all that jazz. So I did do that as a makeup artist wise. So funny. My sister is on here too. She's texting me up. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so beauty blender or brush debate. I think you guys beat me with the beauty blender, but try the brush out and see how much more full coverage you get. I think sometimes the beauty blender like is too it shears out the coverage a little too much. So like I said, that is a full coverage foundation, so you really don't have to do a whole lot else with your face, especially because we use the CC Correct. Now I'm going in with the Bodyography concealer. I love this concealer. It's really nice. It's vegan and it's cruelty free, which like I said is something I'm really trying to stick with this year. I've kind of always been into cruelty free beauty, but now I'm really into like eco-friendly. So the fact that this company is eco-friendly and doesn't test on animals, because I mean there really is no reason to at this point, is amazing. So I'm using my concealer. This is a shade which I'm surprised. They have a really good range of shades. I know being like a medium to brown skin girl, you kind of worry if people have your color, your shade. Becca and the Bodyography has a really nice shade. So I'm using the shade M1. And I just did that really quick because I want to explain to you what I'm doing and not take up so much time because I will chat here forever. So I did a little triangle motion right here. Not a lot, just a little bit. Then I went up here because we do want to bring everything up because gravity is not our friend. And then a little bit on the chin because I like a brightened chin. And then a little bit in the middle of my forehead, which I'm also going to drag a little into a little bit of a nose contour. The emphasis of this look really is the eyes. But if you do have a really good face, you are going to be the belle of the ball. And I'm just using my beauty. This is where I really use my beauty blender to blend out is my concealer, especially because this concealer is a little thicker and creamier, which I prefer. I know some people like a very light coverage. I gotta fix my nose ring, girl. Sorry. I know some people really like lighter coverage concealer, but if you sheer it out enough with the beauty blender, you won't have any creasing at all. So I also like to do the under eye. This is what I've been doing lately, is using my 775, which is almost like it's flat brush. And I've been using it to blend out my concealer. And I've really been enjoying the way that it looks, especially on clients. So I kind of go in, I go up. I do look up, but that's ugly. So I'm trying not to do that. But I do look up and just kind of tap and fluff that concealer out. And when you're using this brush that's kind of a little skinny on the end, I don't know, it just blends out really pretty. I don't know if you can see that, but it really just blends out super soft and pretty. But you're still getting full coverage. I feel like the beauty blender I use to get that max sheerness right underneath here. But you kind of want that coverage underneath your eye. That's the thing, is I sometimes think people aren't using full enough coverage underneath their eye, so they feel like it's still dark. And y'all saw me with no makeup on, so I have dark circles, so I don't know. And people always say, "Ophell, you're so young, you don't need to worry about that." Yes, you do, honey. You need to worry about your skin now. You need to put sunscreen on and moisturize. Especially if you're going out. Especially if you're going out for the holidays, you'd be going out every night, every weekend. You need to make sure your skin looks good. So I use that beauty blender just on the outside of that concealer to sheer it out and blend it out with the rest of my face, but I'm still using this little brush and like tapping it and patting it in because I don't want to move that concealer away. I need that concealer to do its job. I need it to conceal. Okay, so what are we thinking about the face, guys? Do you guys have any questions? Oh yeah, somebody said, and get Botox. Yes, Botox is really good. That keeps the girlies looking young. Especially my girlfriends. I'm the youngest one and they're like beautiful and look young. And I'm just trying to keep up. Erica's on here. She knows. Erica looks like she's 22. I look like an old lady when I go do weddings with her. She's one of my girls I do weddings with, and she's stunning. Okay, you guys. So what do we think? Do we have any questions about the foundation so far or concealer? You can kind of see it brightened up my face, but I'm still a little bit one-dimensional because we do need to add bronzer, blush, all this. I do try to keep the face very simple when I'm doing a glittery eye look like this. And I like to go back in with that brush that I was just using for the concealer and set my under eye because I do get a little concentrated. I like to have a little concentrated. Do I use the blender? Do I use the blender for setting my face or for buffing out the foundation and the concealer? So I use a little bit of this, or I use this concealer brush with my translucent powder. And I just kind of pat it on there and swipe it out. And I've really been liking setting it with this smaller brush just like this around these little areas like my under eye, my nose where I get a little oily at. I don't know. I've just been liking using that smaller type of brush. So then I like to use my big fluffy, what size is, what is this? This is a 960 to just set. And I'm a little dry on my cheeks, so I am very careful about where I'm putting the powder at. Oh, thank you for saying I look dewy and beautiful. So I do have dry cheeks, so I am really careful about where I'm putting the powder at on my cheeks. I don't like to go too heavy, but I do like to keep it a little heavier where I do get oily at. So right in here, I just kind of pat it on and then fluff it out. I don't know what you want to call that motion. So I do that. Another really nice trick that I use, since a lot of you guys, or you girls and guys, like to use a beauty blender, it's going in with your setting powder. Get your beauty blender, go in with your setting powder, use your favorite setting spray and like spray it on there, and then set your face like that. Girl, your face will look really soft and flawless. I learned that freelancing with makeup artists, professional makeup artists, and that's a really like nice tip. It's like a softer way of setting your face. So try that and see what you guys think. All right, so let's bronze me up because I'm looking I need a little bit of shading. I'm gonna use those Jouer Duos for the rest of my face. And then I think we're gonna do brows and highlight, and then we'll be wrapping it up. So I like to use these Jouer Duos because they're super easy. They're just the simplest way to kind of define your face without getting into the complicatedness of it. I think a lot of contour palettes or bronzer palettes have so many shades you just don't know what to use, but these Jouer ones don't. And this one has been, I know Brittany's ready for brows. This one has been used and fried and dyed. She's a favorite. I love to use her all the time. This one is in the shade Sunset. Wait, yeah, I think it is. Hang on, let me make sure. Yeah, Sunset and Sunkissed. So I'm using that darker matte shade, the one that you saw that is really used up. She has suffered a casualty from being a makeup artist. If you've ever broken one of your favorite things, let me know. It's even worse when it's part of your makeup kit because as a makeup artist, you have your favorites that you like to use on clients. So when it breaks like that, it just is like a death in the family. It's so sad. I just hate it. So I'm going to use that matte shade, and I'm going to start out. I did this side so that way I'm not taking so long, but I'm going to show you this way. So I'm using that matte shade. You kind of want to do, I've just started using a big fluffy brush like this for my contour and bronzer, and I've really been liking it. So this is like my new signature go-to look that I've been doing. So we're going to do 3 steps. It's going to be 1, 2, and then 3. And I know that sounds kind of a little bit simple, but and not like it's going to do anything, but it really does. So I like to start right here where the sun kind of hits my forehead and right here on the side of my face. And you can already see it bronzes me up really well. I call this like a fake contour because we're really just using bronzer and a little bit of a shimmery bronzer, and we're using it as a contour. So I like to start from back here and go back into my cheek, or from my cheek, my upper cheek to my hairline, and I like to drag it back. And I don't like to bring it too forward because we're kind of go up and back. And you can kind of see how that already changed my face shape. I have big cheeks. I have like kind of like a round cheek right there. And so this kind of just elevates it and brings it up. I'm coming back in. So that's 1, 2, and then this is 3. So now we're going still right behind the ear, and then we're going right under the jawline, the sculpted jawline that literally everybody wants. And we're going to drag it right here. And then we're going to go back to the middle of our face. And it's a short, like, windshield wiper motion of a bronzer. It's not anything, because you're using such a fluffy brush, I feel like you don't get that, like, direct. Yeah, I really do love these Jouer Duos. You can kind of see how it bronzes my face. I'll drag a little over my nose. Because you're using this fluffier brush, you're not getting that harsh line, I feel like. So using this fluffy brush for me just feels like it diffuses the color so much more. And you can use, you know, a smaller brush for your blush and stuff like that. But I just feel like using this for my contour bronzer duo has really helped. Now I'm going back in with the shimmery matte shade. And I'm putting that a little bit over on my cheeks because I don't like a lot of color on my cheeks lately, especially when I'm going out. I kind of like to keep it a little bit more bronzy. So I kind of drag that over my cheeks. And I'll drag a little bit over my nose and a little bit on my chin, kind of everywhere where the sun hits. And you can see, I can't wait to take my hair down. This makes me look like I'm 12. So I like to drag that shimmery kind of bronzer over my cheeks. If you don't like blush, you can skip it. But I'm going to do a little bit because we are going all out. We are going out tonight and we want to look like we did something. So this Jouer Duo that I'm using, which you wouldn't think would be perfect for me, is Adore. And you really can't tell, but these are really pretty blushes. They're matte, which to me is the best type of blush to have. Sometimes shimmer can get to be a little bit too much, especially on the cheek. And if you're like me and you like a lot of highlight, you want to keep it matte on the cheeks. So I went in with a darker shade because, like I said, I don't want to do a lot of blush. I want to keep it more bronzy. And you can smile and do it from the apple of your cheeks, but I like to actually go a little further back because I don't want to emphasize that roundness. I want to keep it a little bit more chic and svelte. So I like to go a little bit back right there. You can drag a little bit of blush on your cheeks too if you like that. All right, so now we finished a little bit with the face. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys what brush that was. The 942. It's so weird because I'm like looking at myself in the camera, but also trying to see. So let's do a little bit of brow. Let's finish the eyes and then we'll do brows because we need to define these babies. So like I said, I don't like to do a lot underneath the lash line, but I know some people do. So let's just play for a little bit. And we will use the 542 for underneath. And you're going to still use the same shade that you use in that inner crease, which for us was the Sienna. And you're going to go right on your lower lash line with this flat brush. Did I already say the name? Yeah, the 542. And you're just slowly going to line it. Very softly. Like I said, I like to keep this under eye clean. I don't do that much with it because I like that whiten look. But we're going to smoke it up a little bit for tonight. I'm going to use the Stila. Does everyone like to do liner underneath their lash line, or do you like to keep it clean and like me and like normally not put anything underneath it? I'm using the Stila liner, and I'm not using black, which is kind of, I know not everybody loves that, but I'm using this. Yeah, I know. A lot of people prefer to keep it really clean underneath. I'm the same way. So I didn't use the black. I used the brown. It's not even a brown. It's called Lionfish. It's like a shimmery brown. And it's really pretty. And that's probably as much as I will get on the lower lash line, just a little bit. Now we want to do a little mascara. Because I do have some leftover lash extensions, I'm not going to go crazy with the mascara, but we do want to kind of blend. If you do have lashes, this is the Stila I can't even think of, I just saw the name. Oh, Extreme Lash Mascara. If you have really pretty lashes, you really don't need lashes. You can use just as mascara. But I only do mascara on the bottom because I have lash extensions. But if you don't have lash extensions for the lashes, you do want to kind of shimmy it right at the end of that lash and kind of blend in that mascara into that. So that way both your natural lashes and the fake lash blend together. I'm not a huge, I like to have lash extensions. So if you're a person that likes mascara, you need to try this one because it really does make your lashes pop, especially the bottoms. So now let's go and do brows. I really like the ABH Brow Quiz, but I also like the Brow Definer, which is like the thicker version. But you can use the Brow Wiz. It's super simple. I like a brow pencil. I know some people like a powder, and there is the Brow Gal palette, but I don't know. I just feel like a pencil is enough. So what I do is I start from my lower brow line and I just do short little strokes. Same thing with liner. I feel like if you just kind of try to drag out and carve out that whole brow, you're gonna have a mistake. But if you do short little strokes, you can kind of control it a little bit better. So I like to start on the bottom and then right in the front where you kind of need to have that shape, I just go up just like short little hair-like strokes. And my brow routine is really boring. Let me know what you guys like to do for your brows. Do you like a brow pencil or do you like a brow powder? Because my brow routine is so boring. I don't do a whole lot. I like to make my eyes be the emphasis of the look. So same thing with the other side. I like to start on the bottom, just really short strokes. I should try to do this on the camera, but I can't. I don't think I can do it. I don't know. Everyone likes a pencil. Vanessa said she likes a pencil. Yeah, it's just easier. I don't like to fuss too much with it, especially when I'm going out. I'm usually always running late. So if I'm doing this kind of look, I'm already late. I probably missed dinner. So I like to use the end of the brush and kind of just brush it out. They also have a really good brush in this one. You can kind of clean it up just a little. That's why I like to do brows last because my brow routine is super boring. I really don't do anything crazy. I know some people like a powder and pencil combo, but all right, so we did brows. Now let's do a little bit of lips. I'm super excited about this because I just did a live on lips the beginning of this week. So I actually have like some really cool techniques for you guys. So I like to do a lip pencil and a gloss. And actually this isn't much of a gloss. It's actually kind of a liquid lip. This is a Jouer this is going to be a nude lip. This is Fifth Ave. And then I'm using the Kevyn Aucoin lip pencil. And I do have fuller lips. So if you are a person who likes to overdraw your lips, I would totally suggest it because a fuller lip is the modern way to do your lips now. I kind of shape mine to be a little bit smaller because I feel like that feature is just a little bit too big. And with makeup, you kind of want everything to be a little symmetrical. So if you like your lips to be a little bit fuller, then you really don't need to do it my way. You should kind of overdraw a little bit. But if you're like me and you have a bigger lip and you kind of want it to appear a little bit smaller, then I would do it like this. So I like to use, this is the Kevyn Aucoin lip pencil in the shade, I want to say, is it Minimal? Yeah, in Minimal. And this is a perfect nude lip for a brown girl, or even if you're a little bit lighter than me, you could get away with using this too. It's a really pretty nude. So I'm going to line just the outside and shade that and then do the outside right side and then the left side. Just like that. And I'm kind of going right into like a little bit above my actual lip because I want it to look smaller. And then I do the same for the side, or for the upper. I kind of draw a little bit into my actual lip. Whereas if you're overdrawing, you want it to be a little bit above your lip. And that's why I like a nude lip, because then it doesn't place as much emphasis on how big my lips are, which I know everybody wants like lip flips and lip injections, but I don't. I want like it to appear a little bit more shaped. I know that lip injections are like the big thing right now. I'm scared though. I feel like that would hurt. All right, so I just like to line that whole, my whole top and bottom, just on the outside, because I'm using that as my definition. And then I'm gonna pop a little bit of this nude shade right in the middle. I love this color, you guys. I love a nude lip. Okay, what is everyone's go-to lip shade for going out? Are we red girls? Are we nude? Do we just do lip gloss? Are we just chapstick girls? What do we like to wear when we go out? Let me know in the chat. I know everyone loves nude. I don't know. Fenty Lip Gloss. That's my sister. She is a Fenty stan. Who's still rocking lip gloss nowadays? I feel like lip gloss is coming back because the 90s are coming back. Okay, so I put that shade right in the middle. My sister said that she's the only one rocking lip gloss. Does nobody else remember that like shimmer lip gloss that was like, it was like frosted? That was in, I hope that doesn't come back. That wasn't hot. So I'm using the back of that lip pencil. It has this perfect lip brush. So the Kevyn Aucoin lip pencil has like this perfect lip brush on the back of it. And I'm using that to blend out that lip shade into the lip liner. And the reason why I popped it in the middle is so it can have just a little tint of color, because I really want my lip pencil to be the defining portion. Okay. Oh, you know what I forgot, guys? Highlighter. So we can actually do this last. This is actually a good finishing step after we set our face. Who likes to set their face and who skips it? I feel like everybody has like their own preference. It's totally optional. You don't have to set your face if you don't want to. But for me, it's kind of a I have to. I just feel like I'm not finished if I didn't set my face. So I'm going to use this short little fluffy brush for my highlight. I like smaller brushes for highlight. I don't know why. I've just always been like that. I'm using the Becca highlighters, which they're so shimmery. I don't think you can see them. They do have, these are like my medium to tan skin shades. I would say if you're my skin tone or darker, these are the perfect shades for you. Like Chocolate Geode is really pretty. Yeah, Prosecco Pop. I was going to show you guys Champagne Pop, which is what I use on my lighter girls. But same thing, I use that shade so much that she looks very not pretty. So I just don't want to show you guys that. But the Becca Cosmetics Champagne Pop is really good for light skinned girls. So I like to use this and just kind of pop it a little bit on my cheeks. And I like the smaller brushes. Like I said, I'm dry on my cheeks, so I have to be careful what I put on them. Then I use the fluffy brush. I do like a nose highlight. I'm kind of blending these two highlighters together. I like the nose highlight. You can, that's optional too. You can totally skip that if you don't like a nose highlight. Thank you, guys. I'm pretty much almost done with this look. I'm wrapping it up. Who knew it took so long to get this beautiful? I mean, really. Men have no idea. Or men who don't wear makeup have no idea. So I'm going to use my big fluffy brush to kind of buff that out just a little. I like to do a little highlight on my brow bone too. So I'm going to mix those two highlighters together again and just pop it right underneath my brow bone. See, good. Nicole's a makeup artist too, and she likes the smaller brush for highlight. So I love that. That's kind of how I am too. I like a smaller brush. Okay, so I did mascara, I did my brows, I did a little bit of highlight. I'm going to set my face. This is totally optional. This is also the second time that the fan comes out. We're going to set. Oh, I almost opened my mouth for that. And we're good. So I hope you guys really like this glittery look. I can't wait to take like really close-up pictures with it because I feel like you can't really see the glitter. Oh, maybe you can. I see it now. But I just think that this is a super simple way for you to do something fun, especially when you're going out, just using those 3 different shades and then using your glitter as your like main focus is just, you know, a perfect holiday look. I hope it was really simple for you guys to follow along. I know that makeup can seem like it's really intimidating, but when you break it down into these small little sessions like this, I feel like it's a little easier to follow along. If you guys have any questions for me, drop them in the chat below if you need me to like emphasize anything. I know sometimes I talk a little bit fast, so if you want me to break anything down a little bit smaller, or if you have any more questions about glitter or how to apply glitter, then just let me know, and that way I can answer them for you. Or any product questions too, because a lot of these products I use in my professional makeup kit, so I know that I wanted a little more glitter. I know that some people will have questions about stuff like that.
In just 25 hours at the Blushington Academy, you'll be ready to increase your earning potential and become your own beauty boss. Blushington Academy is valuable to self-taught makeup artists and for those that went to school and graduated. Blushington is an incredible place to advance your career.
The Blushington Academy is giving you all the industry secrets, tips, tricks that they know, and they are giving that to you in that 25-hour course. That's priceless.
What surprised me as a new makeup artist was all of the work that went on behind the scenes. The skills I learned at Blushington Academy would have come in handy 10 years ago when I first started my career.
Along with the Blushing Academy, you get your own Blushington kit. The kit is curated by their artists, so you get this amazing kit that you are going to use on every single client. Realistically, what you pay for the course, you're getting in the kit.
When I first saw the kit, I was like, wow.
It's rare to find a makeup academy that provides such luxurious products.
So to turn up our look, let's grab our eyeshadow palettes and look at the color choices that we have. I love this palette. The colors are so vibrant and so beautiful.
You are so overwhelmed with where do I start? Where do I begin? How do I get my name out there? Blushington is behind you and they are going to help you do that. You are a featured certified artist on their website. So if you're in Kansas City, Missouri, people can book you, brides can book you. Having a huge company like Blushington behind you, that is something that when you go to another school, you don't get.
Having a shop-in-shop at Blushington is going to be such a game changer. I'm always recommending wonderful products to my clients, and it's going to be so nice to be able to help them purchase products that I stand behind, and it's going to be nice for me because I'll be able to make a little extra income.
You educate your clients, you use the products on them, and they have an option to buy directly from you from Blushington, so that way that's commission in your pocket. Why did no one else think of this? It's amazing.
Loneliness of the career can really get to you because you're essentially an entrepreneur building a one-person business. But with Blushington, I could create community and rely on them for encouragement and for business matters. I honestly feel that this course is an amazing value.
You'll have a lifetime access to a new group of makeup artists, so you'll always have someone in your corner supporting you and there to answer any questions that you may come across in your career. There are so many things that we have to learn the hard way, especially as freelance artists. Blushington Academy takes away some of the pains of growing.
If you are just starting or if you've been doing it for years like I have, you can never stop learning. If you are getting ready to sign up for the Academy, just know it is just the beginning of your career.
Ophell, you look absolutely incredible. I wish we were in person for these masterclasses, you know, because like we can always try our best with Zoom and technology, but absolutely stunning. I do have a couple questions that came through on our DM. So the first one was, should I stack lashes on the lid or off, like before putting them on? So what is your method there?
So make sure you measure them so that way they fit your lid, first of all. I feel like if they're too long, they won't go right into your lid. You also don't want to make sure it's long enough that it's past your inner lashes, which I feel like people struggle with. Trim them and then place them right above your lashes. You almost want them sitting right on top of there. You want them as close as you can because you want them to appear seamless.
Love it. Somebody said, for the holidays, I like to add color to my brows. should I be using an eyeshadow or pencils? Like for like unconventional colors?
Oh yes, I love unconventional colors. I used to rock that way back in the day, but I'm glad that it's coming back. You can kind of use a mixture of both. I feel like makeup is subjective. You can use anything. I mean, I know sometimes I use a lipstick for a cheek color or whatever. So yeah, use a powder if you want to. I think for me, I like pencils, like a colored pencil, because I can just kind of control that pigment a little bit better, but it's totally up to you. I know some girls use a powder. The only thing with the powder is you just want to make sure you set it properly. They have a brow gel, I think, and I got this in my Blushington Academy kit, and they have a brow gel. And so if you're using a powder, make sure you set it with the brow gel so it doesn't move. You don't want it to budge.
Awesome. Awesome. Somebody said, how do you do makeup with such long nails? I'm sure that's a common struggle
Oh,
for
I know. This is a common question. So I'm an OG. I've had long nails forever. I really don't. And I use my fingers or not my fingers. I use a brush or tweezers instead of my fingers. So for me, it's really not any different than anybody else doing them. I've just kind of adapted to it because I've had them literally forever.
I guess on the topic of fingers, somebody asked what the difference is when it comes to applying foundation or BB or CC creams with your fingers versus a brush. And do you think that that's bad to use your fingers?
So because I have long nails, I don't use my fingers a lot. So it's not that I suggest against it. I just feel like you get a cleaner application with a brush. I know that people swear by fingers. I do think that using a brush is more hygienic, but I just feel like you get better coverage too, because with your fingers have like little lines and pores and stuff in them. And I just feel like the foundation will stick more to your hand than to your face. So that's just my opinion. But if it works for you, I'm not going to knock anyone's, technique. If it works for you, then keep doing it. But I just think if you struggle or you feel like your makeup is not as flawless as you want it to be, switch to a brush or a beauty blender and see how that works. Because I really think it'll make a difference. But, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Get the most out of your product. Yeah, for sure.
Yes, exactly.
The last question we had was, how do you not crease under the eyes?
So my big thing is using a good concealer underneath the eye is important. That Bodyography concealer is really creamy, and it's very creaseless. It doesn't have any of that cakey quality. So using a really good product, and also using like that brush technique that I use, where I use that smaller brush and kind of just spreading out that concealer, I think really helps. And then setting it properly. Like I use that smaller brush and then set it into the setting powder and then set my face. That really, really does help. I like to tell people, especially when I'm doing makeup or makeup lessons, if it's already creased, then you need to smooth that out. So don't set it if it's already creased. You want to make sure that it's smooth right when you set that setting powder on it.
Perfect. I hope everybody's taking notes for the holidays, right?
Yes. Oh, and hydrate, of course. Hydrate for the holidays.
Well, that was the last of our questions. So we are all good. We have also just dropped the discount code in the chat. So anybody who is looking forward to recreating this look at home for the holidays or any season really, feel free to use the code Ophell10. That's Ophell with 2 L's and then the number 10 at the end. You can use that at checkout to get 10% off all your products and off the Blushington Academy tuition. Ophell, this chat is just like lighting up with compliments. So I really hope that you had fun. This look is
I really did. Thank you.
And I highly, highly encourage everybody to go follow Ophell on Instagram. Her Instagram is absolutely amazing. Always booked and busy with bridal clients. There's a ton of beauty tips, a lot of awesome makeup looks. You can go follow her. We've also dropped her handle in the chat. That is Beauty by Eeyore, E-O-R. To stay up to date with everything Blushington related, we are keeping it simple. We are just at Blushington on Instagram, so you can tune in for future masterclasses, especially during this holiday season. If you ever have any questions, always feel free to DM us. And I think the offer also extends to Ophell, where if you have any questions about her look, feel free to DM Instagram as well.
Message me. I love that.
Emily says you slayed, so just know that.
Thank you.
And as a final just reminder, we do send out a post masterclass email, so that will be into all of your inboxes within the next 24 hours. Please keep your eyes open for that. And we also do have a recording of the masterclass in there as well. So if you know of anybody who wanted to attend, but maybe they couldn't, I know that it's a little bit early here on the Pacific coast, or maybe somebody's having dinner on the East Coast. Feel free to circulate that video as well. And you can shop Ophell's look there too. So And I'm done with my portion of speaking. Ophell, I will let you close this out. But again, just from Blushington, we cannot thank you enough for hosting a masterclass with us.
Yay! I love you guys in the comments. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope I was detailed enough. Like I said, this is a perfect holiday look for everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. I'm a big Instagram girl. And so whenever I'm not busy with clients, I do like to spend my time on social media. So follow me there. Comment below. I use a lot of these products in my makeup kit. So if you want, to ask me questions, totally do that. Like, DM me. I love that. It's really, I feel like this community that I have with Blushington is meant to be an open forum. So whether you're a makeup artist or just makeup lover, which I'm both, I would love to hear any questions or feedback you guys have. But thank you for having me, and everyone, thanks for watching.
Perfect. All right, everybody, have a good evening, and we'll see you for our next class. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye. Bye. Thank you. Good night.